Hi everyone, my name is Olivia Atlas, and today I will be presenting my proposal for modernizing a legacy federal grants management system using enterprise scale AI. So before we begin, I want to state that I chose DHHS because it's an environment that I'm familiar with, through my previous work supporting grants management. So one thing I did notice was how much time employees were spending navigating multiple systems, manually reviewing documents, as well as searching through their emails, SharePoint, and other policy guidance just to complete routine tasks. So that experience made me wonder, how exactly can an organization benefit from AI without replacing a mission critical system that it always depended on? So before thinking about I wanted to understand what the actual problem was. So the biggest challenge wasn't simply that the system was old. Information was typically spread across multiple applications. Employees were manually reviewing documents, entering the same information more than once, and valuable knowledge was being buried under multiple platforms. So that's why I chose a data activation strategy instead of a system replacement. By connecting existing systems through APIs, digitizing historical records, and creating an enterprise knowledge layer, we can make existing information easier to find without necessarily disrupting the day-to-day operations. So this slide shows how everything can connect together. So I didn't want to replace the entire legacy system just because they already support critical business functions. So instead, they stay in place while APIs securely connect them to an enterprise data platform as well as a knowledge graph. So I also included the Model Context Protocol, MCP, just because it gives the AI assistant access to trusted organizational knowledge before generating a response. And that will be able to help the AI provide answers based on current policies, organizational data, rather than relying on what the language model already knows. So once the architecture was established, I was able to focus on what actually could help the employees. So the system would be able to summarize applications, identify missing documentation, retrieve policies, draft communications, as well as identify any potential risks. So I also wanted to show that responsible AI isn't necessarily just about adding capabilities. Every benefit should be able to have a corresponding safeguard. So that's why each AI risk is paired with a mitigation, demonstrating that governance should be built into the solution from the beginning rather than later. So I divided governance into two sections just because governance involves much more than cybersecurity alone. So this first part necessarily focuses on securely sharing information across agencies. Standards like NEAM and common APIs can improve interoperability, while zero trust architecture, role-based access controls, NIST security controls, and continuous monitoring can help protect sensitive government data. The second part focuses on accountability. So I wanted to emphasize that organizations shouldn't simply trust AI just because it produces an answer. They should be able to understand how the decision has been made. So that's why this proposal includes privacy protections, audit logging, explainable AI, model version control, as well as a continuous bias monitoring to support transparency and responsible AI governance. So with this banking case study, it demonstrates that legacy system challenges aren't just unique to the government. The banking organization faced fragmented systems and recurring operational problems. So by combining AI with the knowledge graph, they were able to improve decision making and reduce recurring issues. So I applied those same principles to grants management by using an enterprise knowledge graph to help employees quickly locate policies, summarize applications, and reduce administrative work while also keeping people involved in important decisions. So with developing the AI solution, that is only a part of a process. It also needs to be deployed safely. So I included in this pipeline to show that every code change moves through automated testing, security validation, model validation, and a testing environment before anyone approves it for production. So this process will be able to help reduce any deployment errors while maintaining quality as well as oversight. So one concern that I did want to address was trust. So if the grant scoring model identifies an application as a high risk, viewers need to understand exactly why before making a decision. That's where SHAP comes in. It explains which factors influence the prediction so humans would remain responsible for the final decision. So Docker will also be able to support that process by packaging the application into a consistent environment, making deployments more reliable across development, testing, and production. With this slide, it builds on the deployment pipeline by showing how much that process can actually be automated. So every time a developer submits code, GitHub Actions automatically runs testing, security scans, and model validation before building the application and deploying it into a testing environment. Human approval is still required before production, which balances automation with appropriate oversight. And that is why human in the loop is just so important for this process. I wanted to finish with ML ops, machine learning operations, just because AI isn't necessarily something that you deploy once and forget about. After deployment, the model should continue to be monitored for performance, drift, security, as well as compliance and user feedback. Those insights are used to retrain and improve the model over time, helping to ensure that it remains accurate, secure, and effective at all times. Oh. These are my references, but on a closing note, this proposal demonstrates that organizations don't necessarily need to need to replace mission critical legacy systems to take advantage of AI. So by modernizing existing systems with enterprise AI, strong governance, secure deployment practices, and continuous monitoring, agencies should be able to improve efficiency while at the same time maintaining security, transparency, as well as human in the loop oversight. Thank you.